Brian? Here. Julia?
Here.
Kathy?
Here.
Teresa?
Here.
And I am here. All right. Approval of the prior meeting minutes.
Don't want to vote yet.
We'll see if I can get a second a little bit more anyway.
I'll go ahead and second that. All right, all those in favor of approving the prior meeting minutes as written, say aye. Aye. Motion passed. All right, approval of tonight's agenda. Good on that? Motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passed. All right, let's, public comment on new agenda items only. We're on the agenda tonight. Any questions, comments? Makes it easy. All right, no comments. We're gonna go ahead and close that. Clerk's report with Ken Bloom. Ken, what do you got? We had our election meeting, and for the workers to be chosen, and several of them will have to go to training next week to get certified. We are done sending out absentee ballots, and we're not required to within 14 days of election to send them out. And it's a matter of time for them to get back in our hands. We have sent out 244 absentee ballots, and a little over half of them have been returned at this time. So, as I'm continuing to review our general ledger and the QuickBooks and cannot reconcile the balance to match the bank account, so I'm going to be requesting some assistance from Blaine Gephardt. So, to help speed this along, and also I do not have a ledger for the building fund, and we need to create that one. So, and Dennis and I went to a Montcalm MTA meeting Tuesday night, and President Armand Witte, who is the supervisor of Belvedere Township, was running the presentation for the people. We had a discussion from Sheriff Williams about the millage that was passed years ago, how it's improved the sheriff's department, and we also discussed the light issue, which we'll be getting into a little bit later. And Mark Christensen did a little bit of a report that we will be able to put brine on the gravel roads within 100 foot, and so people that live on a gravel road won't have to deal with the dust. Amy Thomas, Director of Montcalm 911 Dispatch, gave us an overview of how 911 program has expanded with the being able to go mobile and not actually have the whole system shut down like it did a few years back. State Representative Pat Outten was there, and he did a little discussion about proposed budgets at the state level and surplus monies, et cetera, so, anyhow, that was it.
So, next up below your report that I got, the amount that she quoted it was $650, $700.
Yeah, $650, about 10 hours,
10 hours, so maybe a cushion, $1,000.
so 1,000 should cover it,
Okay.
so.
And then I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve $1,000 for Blaine Gebhardt of Trusted Solutions to help Ken get our QuickBooks dialed in.
I'll second
Second,
Yeah.
let's do a roll call vote.
Roll call vote, Teresa,
that. Yes.
Julia, yes,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
me, yes, Kathy?
Yes.
Motion passed. And then also below that, the current utility bills as far as consumers energy, DTE, the internet, anything that we can put on the phone, anything that we put on auto pay, we're getting beat up with late fees. Ken came in here last week, the internet was shut off, he had to get it reconnected, pay the bill, or get it current on his credit card to get it turned back on. So, we gotta do something to get out of this mess. You know, the meetings every month, that way it's just auto pay. Ken will be notified with emails with the bills that'll be added to his monthly payment as auto pay when we approve the bills every month. So it simplifies everything. And most of that can be put on there with the routing number and account number. It's, you know, no different than setting up auto pay on at your home. So that way we save on late fees.
I will have to go in and put what budget item it goes further down. So,
For Blaine to help you with QuickBooks.
yeah.
So, any discussion on that or any objections or?
No, I think that we've been incurring late fee charges for something that's avoidable. We need to figure out ways to save money for this township. One of those being we do auto pay.
The other option is to have a standing balance at the utility.
Overpay it, I'd rather
Yeah.
keep it, the amount that's drawn, is what's, you know.
Yeah. they
It's
don't
not
need-
like they're huge bills,
Right,
but all the late fees just kind of compound and add up, so.
right.
Especially if it's like, last week we were supposed to have a meeting and now it's this week. The consumers' bills are due the 25th, or they're late. So,
Is there a motion to approve that, putting the bills on auto pay?
Yeah. I'll make a motion to, change all of our utility bills, to auto pay. Internet, utilities, and recurring monthly charges.
I'll second that, and then, let's do a roll call on that one too.
Julia,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
Teresa,
Yes.
me, yes, Kathy?
Yes.
Motion passed. Treasurer's report, Kathy.
Capital Improvement Fund, 95,262.53, ARPA, 237,990.51, Building Fund, 150,546.93, General Checking, 288,415.81, Tax Account, 26,003.76, for a total of 798,219.54.
And what do you got attached here? Domain renewal?
Yeah, there's a domain name, you purchase a domain name for your website, and it's due to be renewed if you want it renewed.
Right. That's the WingfieldTownship.org.
Yeah.
So, I don't know when that's due by, but,
27.
of this month.
Yeah.
So, for STG group, there was a conversation about switching from .org to .gov. And they have reasons for that, it's mostly security stuff, which basically I was just gonna discuss with you. I don't think it, makes a huge difference in terms of but my main concern is that affecting our emails, because we have our emails all set up through .org. So if we now switch to .gov, we have to change all that stuff around, is it gonna affect all that?
The website group should be able to
Change all that.
change all
Yeah.
that, yeah.
So I would hold off on renewing this, I mean, it's only $20. But
How
he should
long?
be getting back to me.
$20 is good for how long?
A year.
And I would think too that if it was winfieldtownship.gov, that they could interconnect the two, .org or .gov, and we got both, with it syncing, even if we renew it for $20, that gives us another year, and then keep the .gov, so.
So I'm okay with, it's $20, I'm okay with that, just to make sure that we don't lose the domain at this point. And then if we change to .gov, we go from there. But he should be getting back to me anytime, so I didn't realize that we were gonna have to do that, otherwise I would've asked him about it when we talked about switching to .gov, so. Otherwise, I'm fine with, renewing for now, just make sure that we're covered.
Alright, we'll keep plowing down on that one, so. That'll work. Alright, anything else?
When was this one due?
The 27th.
The 27th, no, it doesn't.
27th, okay. Oh, there it is.
Post.
Just like, yeah, just
Just
like
wanted to get a
HostGator,
check
we're not gonna
cut
continue to
prior
use
to
that
that.
at some point,
Yeah.
but it's just gonna
Get it
take
out.
some time to, so if it's $20 until we get there.
Shoemaker Bridge too, like I said, should be able to pull the .org into the .gov, so.
So I'll have to cut a check for that before, like tomorrow.
Yeah.
Get it to her, get it signed and sent out.
Okay.
Now, this QuickBook bills that you gave me, you have not paid those yet?
No.
Okay, and that's, this is due sometime prior to that.
It's due the 15th of May.
We need a motion on the demand renewal.
Yeah, her mom was saying in June, so that, I'll have to get a check for that also.
I think
right?
that's part of it.
Okay. Okay.
You want a motion for both these then?
They have to get paid, so I'll have to cut checks for both of them, and make the board's okay. Cut them and I'll get them to Kathy and we'll get them in the mail. So,
Alright, I'll make a motion to approve paying the website renewal for the .org and for Kathy's QuickBooks renewal, to be paid immediately.
I'll second that.
Any discussion on that, or? Alright, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any abstention or nays?
okay.
That was unanimous? Alright, motion passed on that one. Is that it, Kathy?
Yeah.
Alright. Planning Commission report, Julia.
I don't have a whole lot, I mean, we've done a whole lot, but I don't have much to say about it, except that we're, working through the solar and wind ordinances. The, solar we just finished up and, are ready to send out to a public hearing. And then we sort of started to dive into wind, just kind of briefly on Monday. We're gonna meet again on 5/15, at 7 p.m. here for a special meeting to continue working on that. And, the goal is to hopefully get through wind, soon, so we can have a public hearing for wind and solar, jointly. So that's sort of where we're at. So we've gotten through the solar ordinance and now we're working on wind and that's all.
Okay, great, thank you. Alright, old business, the township credit card.
Got paperwork filled out, I submitted it to that, it's gotta go up to Mount Pleasant's main office.
Oh, okay.
I haven't heard back from him yet.
Okay,
So,
cool.
so,
And the website with Schumacher Group, we just worked on that and talked about that, so that's
Yeah,
still
just
in
waiting to hear
process.
back. It was,
We say like 6 weeks tomorrow.
5 to 6 weeks and that was probably a month ago, so I'll shoot you back.
And then clerk's audit is still in process. We're hoping to have that results end of this month, early next month. So keep that rolling. And then next up, Township Hall. So last meeting we had a brief discussion about renovating this place. In the meantime, after that, you know, I talked to several builders, you know, started looking around, looking at this place. We can't move it anywhere further from the road, and dumping $250,000 into this building, you know, doesn't make a lot of sense. We happen to come across a building that is already done, that's recent, just north of Cedar Springs. It happens to be the Poor Michigan Wine Bar. It is a 40 by 64 pole barn type building, and you know, I happened to go in there and was floored by the place. So the owner of the building was there. I had discussions with him of when he started the project, and it was his COVID project. So he built this building in the height of the lumber prices, and he said him and his boys did probably 90% of the inside finish work. And I asked him all in from the time he cleared the lot to opening its doors. He did that himself for around $300,000. So I was able to get the plans of the building, and I've reached out to the gentleman that drew the plans, Kevin LaFountain. He's out of Greenville. And he said, he gave me a quote to modify these plans, basically taking out, there's the wine bar, they have a kitchen and a prep area and, you know, food and wine storage. That area we would turn into offices, with a more or less small conference room in that area as well. So if the board does have to go into closed session, we're not kicking all you people out of the building, so that we can go in closed session. There's upstairs storage in that building, and then we would just kind of modify the drawings. But his price of $2,300 to $2,700 to modify these drawings was $4,000 cheaper than any of the quotes we got for architectural drawings to be created. That way we're just taking his drawing and modifying it. So I've got on here, need approval to go ahead, have the drawings modified, and then that way, once we get those drawings, we can put those out for bid for qualified builders to give us a price, anticipating that a qualified builder would come in somewhere that $325,000, $350,000 range, which is in our budget with the building, the ARPA fund, and possibly a little dip into the general checking fund. So that way we can utilize our lot, sell this building in the future, take the remaining proceeds from this, put it towards that, and kind of have a new township hall for the township of Winfield. What do you guys think?
Well, the cost to modify these plans is a little cheap too, so it's very reasonable.
And it would be fully stamped architectural plans, you know, and then we can have this, I mean, just that wine bar, I walked in there, they've got unfit or raw timbers from floor to ceiling on the inside of the place. I was just in awe of that place, so this is perfect. So, and then if down the road, you know, the township explodes and there's massive growth here, there would be room, you know, to add on out the back of this. But even in this state, it's a more functional place, and we have the ability to rent it out. You know, we set up a new rental policy on that. The price may go up slightly, as well as a cleaning deposit, and you know, look into technology and security, you know, for that location. So, but it's better than dumping $250,000 into this place with we wouldn't ever get the money back out of it. Ken, your thoughts? No.
No, not right off, no. Sounds like a workable plan.
Yeah, I think that sounds great. We need a motion to approve the,
Yep.
to revise the plans.
Yes.
So I'll make a motion approve up to 2,700 to revise the, correct plans that we have.
I'll second that.
All right. Let's do a roll call on that one. Just go
Okay,
ahead.
Ryan,
Yes.
Julia, Teresa,
Yes.
me, yes, Kathy?
Yes.
Motion passed. So that'll be a fun project. Once we get to qualified builders, get it rolling from there, so. Let's see here, election committee, yeah, Ken covered that, met April 10th, 10 a.m. Did you complete testing? Did you complete testing on the machine?
Yep.
You did, okay.
Yes, and all the documents to the county.
Okay.
See it back up again. We had to break some to zero it out.
Gotcha. All right, then I'll sign this and get it to Kevin. I plan on meeting too.
Okay. We have to cut a check for that one prior to him starting.
Do we?
That's what it says.
Half?
Yeah, 1250.
Okay.
So you want me to cut that one prior to next meeting?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And then next up, we got election workers. Ken, you wanna explain that? It's your gig.
Okay, the people we got is myself, the clerk, of course I have to. I don't actually work the election, but I have to be here. Dennis Arnold, my deputy. Donna Schudema said she would. Annette Millsop, Eileen Gus, but Eileen Gus said she will be out of town. April Bergman, Brenda Arnold, Dennis's wife, Emily Black, and Jenny Town. So most of them, Donna, April, Brenda, Emily, Dennis, and myself will be going to training this next week. So I'll get certified. So, and we kind of discussed their hourly pay. We kind of based upon how much experience they've had, and so the Dennis Arnold would be at 20 an hour. Donna would be at 12 because she's never worked an election. Annette and Eileen, they would be at 16. They have worked elections before. April Bergman has not, Emily Black has not, and Jenny Town has only worked one election for Maple Valley. Brenda used to be the treasurer for Sand Lake or East Nelson.
Sand Lake, yeah,
Sand
she
Lake.
run elections for Nelson Township.
Yeah, she's run elections quite a few down there, so.
Makes sense. I mean, the more experience you got, the little bit higher pay you should get
Right.
too. So then after you get a couple elections under your belt, then
Right.
work up.
So,
Alright. So I guess I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve the list of election workers we've got here and the corresponding pay along with them. Or do you want two separate motions? On that?
what's that?
You want two separate motions, one for the election workers and one for their pay?
We already approved election workers
Oh, all right, okay, election
at the
workers.
last meeting.
And let's go ahead and, I'll modify my motion to go ahead and approve the pay for the election workers as written on the sheet here, based on experience.
I'll second that motion.
You got a second from Teresa, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Okay, right.
Yep. Motion passed. And then next up, we got checks and bills to pay. One regional,
No, there's two separate, one's payroll, one's last.
bear with us a moment here.
$15.56 for the telephone on the wall. That's what we're discussing. So, no, no, that's just the phone. Hand them out to you, so you want to hand it out there.
We don't anymore. We get argument people. Twenty won't add it out to the table, so that's good. Yeah. Good with fun though. Sure. We don't even have all that other stuff on our wireless devices that have to do it. Check it out. Oh, they won't work on something. If they're working, would be less, if that doesn't work, your own chip to put in the back of the machine. So then send that. Yeah, then I can talk. Why don't I? Do that, but probably pays up the internet. It's not bundled. We don't have cable, so it's gonna be bundled. This is your, but you know, they have cable. We don't even need that. Oh, yeah. Right.
They look good.
All right, so those are reviewed. Is there a motion to go ahead and
I'll
pay
make a
the
motion to pay the bill.
Is there a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right. All those in favor say aye to pay the bills. Aye. Motion passed. All right. Next up, we had our new ZBA member Dave Myers is taking a online course through the MSU Extension. He said he's about halfway through that, and the cost for it was $75. So I had included that in the bills to get paid, just because it was for training for ZBA. So just wanted that on the agenda. Next up, we got road projects. We got a list from Mark Christensen at the Road Commission. Healthy list. Obviously the top one, the Masters Road Bridge, we're already under contract for that. That just needs to be paid. That'll be coming out of the ARPA funds.
We'll be transferring it, yeah.
Transferring it.
Out of the building fund.
Okay, and then the 3 applications of chloride, we actually, when Ken and I had met with Mark from the Road Commission, he said we had prior, last year's amount or whatever, we were putting down more than any other township in the county. So we lowered the amount and got it more in line to a flow of 1,650 gallons per minute at 3 applications. Last year's bill, I believe, was close to $46,000, so now we're down at $39,258, which keeps us in line with the rest of the county. And then, like Ken said, dirt roads that are within 100 feet of water, Eagle was throwing a fit about that, or trying to outlaw brine being put down, and luckily Mark and his crew went to bat, and I guess we'll take it, we got approval for this year, we'll see what happens next year on that. Let's see here, another $2,000 to spray brush along local roadsides. To be determined, cost to be shared, the road commission will contribute $2,000 to Marion Township's contribution of $2,000. Next up, install a 600-gallon dry well and pipe from existing structure on the corner of Winona Lane and Arborgast Road for drainage. That turns into that corner there turns into pretty much a lake. Anytime a vehicle goes through it, that water then all flows down into the homeowner's driveway. He's done everything he can on his part, and he came to us and asked, if we could do something about it. I tried to check with a property owner who has a lot to see if we could run a pipe into the lake, and he wasn't willing to do an easement on that because he's got a vacant lot now. He's planning on building a home at some point and didn't want to restrict his already tight lot there. So then Mark came up with this plan. Total cost on that is $3,100, $3,153. And then we've got a quote here, limestone and resurface Blackfoot Trail, Seneca Court and Seneca Drive. That road is notoriously bad, and the next logical step, according to Mark, would be put limestone down on that to eventually get it built up with a solid base to be able to possibly pave it down the road. There's upwards of 45 houses on that road alone. So they were complaining about the condition of it. It's just, it's time to add a better surface to it than what's on there. And then both the next two we're gonna put on hold. I believe those can just be regraded. I don't think there's a house on either of these, or maybe one house total on Diener. Gravel resurface Diener Road from Papke Road 1 mile east. That would have a cost of $19,230. And then gravel resurface Diener Road from Bailey Road 1 mile west. Both those projects have a cost of $19,230. So I think those can be put on hold, pushed out for another year, as well as the big expensive project at the bottom, Roto Mill and repave Bailey Road from Gates Road to M46. That's got a hefty price tag on it of $153,155. So we're all in for the ones, 5 good-sized projects this year. Puts us at $115,122.21. Grand total of the road projects, if we did them all, would be $306,737.21. With the intent of trying to build a new township hall. Your guys' thoughts?
So you're saying if, that these two proposed put on hold projects could just do with having extra grading or grooming?
I would imagine they could run a grader down it and, throw down some brine on top of it. Most of it's, usually on those roads, I believe, it's farm equipment. There's,
all that's done, those roads that I know of is fine.
I think it's past the,
Like Paulins,
Paulins on the end there, and then
Randy
there's,
Grant.
Rock,
so minimal.
that's the only thing I know of done.
So, and that's kind of the route. Let's stick where the population and the density is, where houses, build those up, and then see what we can do and proceed, focus the funds towards the new township hall, and then tackle some of these as next year, the following year.
Yeah, if you go east of Bailey on Diener Road, Diener Road actually jogs south, and there's no houses on that stretch all the way over to Hamilton. So the amount of traffic that would be on that would be just local. So, other than maybe Sandyland coming down there with the truck. So.
could agree that, we should try to, prioritize the resources that we have at this point to where there's more traffic, where there are more homes, so it's gonna, benefit more people, if we can, so, I'm on board with that. And then putting those on hold and seeing where we're at next year.
Is there a motion then to approve the 115?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the,
The bottoms that are 115.
yeah, the 115, 122, 21 for the top few projects.
Top 5.
Top five, yeah, top five.
Other than that, they said the roads were in fairly decent shape with the exception of the bridge on,
Bailey.
yeah, Bailey. That's expensive.
They're still trying to work with Egley on that one,
Yeah.
so.
All right, there's a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
All right, let's do a roll call.
Roll call.
on that, yeah.
And Julie is yes.
Yep.
Teresa, yes. Ryan?
Yes.
I'm yes. Kathy?
Yes.
All right, motion passed. All right, next up, I got a request, apparently Monday nights between May and September at Larson Keeler Park Basketball Court, there is, little small tournaments that go on between 35 and 50 people there, so we had a request for a porta-john. I got a hold of Robinson Septic. They said they could drop one there between May and September. $90 for 4 weeks, or per 4 weeks for 20 weeks is $450 total. Basically, that is the same pricing that they give to Indian Lake because they've got porta johns at their park. So then they'll just hit this one, clean it weekly or whatever, every other week. Clean weekly, and then pick it up at the end of the season. So I said, yeah. The resident also asked about painting the lines at the basketball courts. I double checked on that and talked to a couple different sport court places. They had prices upwards of $1,500 to $2,500, and whether or not the paint would last, whether it would look decent. So I'm going to get back to the resident and, kind of tell him if he wants to, put down lines himself, go for it. Because I don't know what the lines are there, and the basketball court's just trees everywhere, and so. But we'll go ahead and get a porta john out there for their summer basketball tournaments. So. I need to make a motion on that. I'll make a motion to go ahead and approve $450 for the May through September for a porta john at Larson Keeler Park.
I'll second that.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Just a reminder, the election is May 2nd. There's one item on the ballot for
Yep, for 9/11.
911 service.
Extra charge for,
Extra charge for cell phones.
yeah.
Cool.
So,
All right.
and I will be here, that Saturday before from 8 o'clock till 5.
Taking, registering.
Any registration, Jim?
Any registration. Cool. All right, we'll go ahead and open it up for public comment. State your name, where you're from, and
Helen Johnson, Winfield. I've talked to a couple of you on the board about the cemetery. We had a friend come in, and he lives in Kansas and he works in Poland, so he hasn't been here. He grew up here. He is a Yankee. 90% of his family is buried there. And he came over, and his dad just passed, and he visited with us, and he was floored at how bad that cemetery is and how deplorable. I think there should be volunteers, committees, twice a year, clean that thing out. Take all the artificial flowers, that some of them have been there forever, remove them all at the end of October. Put your Christmas stuff on. If you got to the end of March, clean it out. And someone dumped dirt or whatever, mud down in the center driveway near the garage. And so it was so rutted and so bad a few weeks ago, people were driving around and driving onto a grave. So I would like to see some gravel and money put into the cemetery and fix the fence. I would be glad to go out and help volunteer to clean it. My dad's buried there, 2 nephews are there, my father-in-law, the Johnsons, are there. And I go every year with a white trash bag and I pick up on the fence and clean. And it's a mess, and I go past the other one, and that needs some work too. I go past
We'll
both
look
of
into
them.
that and try to get it, we moved the dumpster from there because it wasn't just people putting their grave stuff in, it was neighbors or residents filling the dumpster, not having their own personal trash service.
Right.
So,
That's another thing. Used to live in Belvedere Township years ago, in our property taxes, and you guys can get a cheaper rate than what I can. And we had township-wide trash service, and it was not in your taxes. You didn't really notice it, but you got your trash every week picked up. I drive school bus around here, and I can show you lots and lots of trash dumped all over the roads. So that might be an idea to kick around
Or
too.
people accumulating it in their plate,
Yep,
not, taking it off into the landfills, so, where it shouldn't be.
yep. It's just an idea.
yeah, we'll look into that and, try to see what we come up with, fixed over there.
Did they have the Boy Scouts do cleanup up there one time or two?
I think so.
Remember, Kathy?
Probably.
Boy Scouts, or see if we get the 4-H. Yeah, you let me, I'm in Sunday, so maybe check. They got the buzz over there.
We know we gotta do something with that fence there, too.
Yes, but don't take it down and
No.
destroy it. It's beautiful.
No, I'd like to get that, sandblasted.
Do they still hold the Memorial Day services at the cemetery out there? Kathy, do you know?
I don't think they do here, do they?
They used to out here.
Oh,
And if you went down the center drive around the first curve, the second curve there, where Roscoe and them are, there's little bushes there. There's no flagpole, they just stuck a little flag in a holder, and then they had their memorial service. Maybe there could be a flagpole put up out there.
We do it for, I thought they do it for Memorial Day.
They do, there's no
For the-
flagpole out there.
For the veterans.
Yeah, for the veterans, but there's just a few graves, and they do it in the back.
they put them on the grave.
Right.
You put them on the grave.
Yes, you do it.
Good luck.
My husband and I go out, flags all down the whole front of the cemetery in front of the fence.
Yeah.
So if you wonder who that person was.
Is that it?
Yep, thank you.
Brenda?
I know that Winfield Hustlers 4-H group always did do like certain miles of pickup and stuff, and I think if you just suggested it was that. Also Boy Scouts, like, that was what I was gonna say, is the Boy Scouts, a lot of times do a challenge, but maybe even reach out to every church and ask for the youth volunteers to come out one day and just do some stuff like that on the 2 cemeteries. You know, more hands make less work.
Yep. Might work. Everybody else? Darren? Sorry.
Yeah, a couple things, I'll circle back to your park marking, you know, the people want, you might wanna check with Tri-County and see if they have equipment that they can borrow or whatever to remark that stuff, because they probably do with their court stuff and whatnot going on. The other thing, thank you for getting the Winona Arbogast on the agenda, I hope we get somebody moving on that, but to add on to that, because of the road improvements that need to be done around there, drainage, we've got a lot of converging hills, is why we have the runout problems now as it is. But Blackfoot and Winona, there's water issues there. Blackfoot, just like Blackfoot around the corner, there's a water issue here where I've actually cut trenches and ditches to get the water out. I don't have any problem because I own most of the property that's ditched around there, if it gets re-ditched. So there's better runout through there. The other side of Blackfoot's wide open, it's vacant lot, and it goes downhill anyway. So they could probably just grade that back a little bit to get the water out, but the road's getting destroyed.
Yeah, that's the one on the list there, the Seneca Court,
Up
Blackfoot,
the
that'll all
hill
be
is all gravel,
limestone.
and then it comes down to pavement. All that water comes right into my lots and floods it, which it doesn't bother me, but if they re-ditched it, it would probably divert a whole lot quicker and better.
Mhm.
There's a chute there, it goes right to my lots. But they wanna re-ditch that, I'm fine with that. Help get all the water out.
I mean, check with them when they're out working that road, put it down the limestone and, I don't see what they might be
But
able to.
the other side of Blackfoot needs to be pushed back, because the water just sits there, and the whole edge of the road is just disintegrating.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
And also where you're looking at putting that dry well, did you get with the neighbors that are already built there to see if they may allow? They
This is our only option.
Is it?
Yep. Which would be, it would be back up the road, but then they would trench it down so that it flows, because there's a catch basin there now, after they found that drain when they built that house there. Drain that was buried for, they didn't even know it was there.
People
But
back
then,
on top of it, so.
yeah, I've had the road commissioner out there a couple times, talked to him, he's like, this is our option, we could either pipe it to the lake, if we could get an easement, but no one's willing to do it, and then the other houses are too close together to get equipment to it without punching a hole in someone's seawall. But then that'll have a catch basin up, should work out, what Mark told me, so. Anybody else?
Mary Kay Darnett, I'm out here on Navy Road, and I am jealous. You have ditches?
I did my own.
There you go. I got a skid steer and a tractor with buckets. You come and dig some ditches? I'm from the other side, Bay County. They got ditches. You don't want to drag in the ditches because they're going to find you, because they're pumping the water out here. Our roads out there are horrible. And as a matter of fact, I said to my neighbor, I got to go because the meeting's at 7 o'clock. And he said, well, find out about the road. They graded last week. We were really excited because we thought they were going to brine. They didn't brine. Thank God that it rained.
They do
We
it,
need more brine, not less. And I drive around county. I'm driving all over the place. Perhaps maybe we have more dirt roads here in Linfield Township than some of the other townships. Because you guys have real roads out here. It's mess out there.
It is.
And whoever said that the roads are okay, that's not right. I don't think that grading the road, I have never hydroplaned in dirt until yesterday or today. I don't know what they did. I hydroplaned in the dirt. And then there are places where the roads are washed out. I don't think putting little orange flags, one on each side of the road, is adequate. I'm thinking, I have this cute little BMW convertible. The guy said, I took it to have its oil change. He said, you didn't drive it much. I said, I don't dare. I can't be driving out there. I could lose it in one of the side roads. And it's the whole, it's not just Bailey, it's Arbogast, it's Marble, it's Yankee, it's the whole, there's nothing that's paved out there, guys. And you can't open your windows. I've actually called to see if I could find out somebody that could brine like in front of my own road. And I go out and I'm sorry, I really want to get sprinkler systems, but I can't get anybody to do that either. Anybody know anybody that will put in sprinkler systems on a 40-acre farm? I got water. I stand at the side of the road and I hose the road down.
We've done that.
Yeah. You know, so like cutting down the brine, that's not it. And I have neighbors, and I don't have a lot, but they're on speed dial with Mark Christensen at the road commission.
I was just trying to keep our expenses
I
for the brine
understand.
within
Well, my
in line
neighbors
with the
don't
rest of the
care about,
townships.
a township bill. They really don't, I'm sorry.
What's that?
They don't care about whether we have a township hall. I mean, seriously, and I didn't bring up this conversation. You know, it's like, well, find out when they're gonna brine the roads. Was, you know, it's not like, when are they gonna build a new township hall? When are they gonna brine the road?
Usually it's May. I can contest to that because I
Well, you're
drive
the
bus.
Yeah.
And now I bring a tornado with me, okay? The way they are right now, when I go down the road and I stop at a stop, I don't dare open the door because it's coming with me and I cover them.
It was
I cover cars, they
really
can't see
bad
me.
with this rain.
They typically always
It's
did
like-
like before Memorial Weekend, before the 4th of July, and then
Labor Day.
So like, they need to brine 4 times a year, not 3, and not less.
And Mark Christensen does live on a gravel road.
I don't care, he's just the committee.
I'm just saying, so he-
But that's who they call. You
Yeah,
are
but
the
he
guys
went, he
that
went to
decided,
bat for.
you are the guys that just decided to brine less,
Yeah.
The amount.
okay? The amount.
Yeah.
We want more brine. That's all. More, Brian, either that and I would like ditches. My husband passed away 3 years ago, I'm sorry, but he took his skid steer and he put the forks together and he dug trenches out there on the road. I don't have anybody do that. It's tempting to find somebody that will come and dig trenches and drain the road.
Ken knows how to run a skid steer, he's got one himself.
I got one. Actually, I now have two. I have two skid steers and 2 tractors.
Were you right about them grading the roads last week in the rain?
It didn't.
If you don't drive them every day, you don't understand what's going on, and it was a nightmare. It was like you were driving on ice, you just were all over them.
Well, today, yeah, and yesterday, I'm not sure what they did, but I seriously, it was grabbing at the tires on my car.
But you also gotta look at this year's a lot different than a lot of the other years in the winter. That's what's messing the roads up. So,
I don't know if you know Bob Johnson.
yes, I do.
Okay? He sat at my kitchen table for years, 2 or 3 times a day, talking about these roads.
Yeah,
And
I
wanting-
remember when your husband used to pull horses, I used to be there.
All right, anybody else? Is that it? All right. Go ahead and close public comment then. Board comments. Lisa, you got anything?
Well, the new hall, we have to have interruptions,
Right.
so.
Are you not enjoying that?
Miss out on
Well, you know
live,
what, I
live
can
music
guess,
night.
we're on the other side of that, and we very rare hear it, we have to go way out in the yard to hear it, so that'll make a plus.
That's where our new hall will be, we'll be able to hear that.
Yes.
So you got it?
I know this, I don't know.
I got nothing, other than the 4-H will be meeting here Sunday at 1 o'clock. Julia was gracious enough to agree to come let them in, so that's all I got.
We're gonna throw some about helping clean up the cemetery at that time.
It's gonna be.
Okay. Other than that, I don't have anything.
Kathy?
Well, the treasurer has to have bank statements, and that was about the last straw when you didn't let the bank send me the statements. The clerk and the treasurer are supposed to be a check on each other, and I can't get the proper paperwork from the clerk, so I can enter in QuickBooks and be able to reconcile statements. I reconcile them and give them to the clerk. He also reconciles so that, to see if they agree. We're a check on each other, that's what the positions are. So I can't go on this way, so I am retiring the 1st of May.
All right. Sorry to hear that. So is that resignation or
That's a
retirement?
retirement, a resignation, call it what you want.
Is there a motion to go ahead and accept her resignation effective May 1st?
I'll make a motion to accept the resignation effective May 1st.
Go ahead and second that. Let's do a roll call on that one.
Julia's a yes. Ryan, yes.
Yes.
Teresa?
Yes.
Jane, yes. And Kathy?
And with that, I guess I'll prepare a posting for the paper and put it out on social media for the treasurer position with the Winfield Township Board. Appreciate your years of service and wish you well. All right, with that, go ahead and make a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn?
Second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Have a good night.